Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Forum coming at you with another video, and today's video is still Lions training camp video. This one is for observations from day 5. It's from yesterday. Sorry, I couldn't get to day 5 yesterday. It was very hot where I work. I came home, took a nap. Didn't wake up for a while. Thanks to my wife. Thank you for letting me sleep. And I just wasn't feeling right, man. I was kind of like I was gassed. Very muggy where I work. Temperatures were through the roof, and I'm a big fella, and I just was out of it, man. And I just chilled all day. I was chilled all night, all day and night after work. Obviously, I was on days. Canceled plans that I was supposed to go meet some buddies for some beers, and that's not like me. You know what I mean? I like to have a couple beers, so I wasn't feeling up to it. I didn't get to the observations, guys. So this is day 5. Day 6 was today as well too. I will do that right after this. I will get on top of that, and I'll get that out today for you guys. But this is, thanks to guys like Tim Twentyman, Jeff Risdon, John Macaron, Jeremy Reisman, Eric Schlitt, Justin Rogers, all those guys out there that put this stuff out. Those are the Lions, Detroit Lions beat writers that put out this information. I am taking that information, putting it pen to paper, and we're just talking about it. And this is from those guys. Thanks for those guys for doing all the work. It was a padded practice today, first day for padded practice. Fans' first look at the 2025 Lions. So big energy out there. It's time to separate the men from the boys, though. Campbell, he's all about evaluating the players they have in the building. His big thing is evaluation. That's all 32 NFL head coaches have the same kind of outlook there. But he just wants to evaluate the guys that are in the building right now, and it's time to get to work. The attendants who participated, who didn't, who was there, who was not. Cornerback Terrion Arnold, calf injury, and linebacker Derek Barnes with a hand injury. They were back practicing. Arnold's situation is a little bit weird because the day before, on day 4, day 4, he hurt himself. He left practice early, or whenever he did. They said they were going to take it slow with him, but the very next day he was out there practicing full pad. So obviously it wasn't as serious as they thought. And overnight, he's young. He healed a little bit quicker. So they weren't too concerned about it. They said they were going to take it slow. They didn't take it slow. He was out there right away. Now, who else? Rookie defensive tackle, nose tackle, Tyleek Williams was out for this practice yesterday. It was a personal reason. No, rookie undrafted free agent Ian Kennelly was out. Don't know the reason why. Linebacker Alex Anzalone, cornerback Enos Rakestraw Jr., running back Sione Vaikai, and defensive end El Quana Muhammad and nose tackle Roy Lopez were all out as well. Anzalone with the hamstring, whatever, and then the Enos Rakestraw with the chest, Vaikai with the hammy, and then El Quana Muhammad. I don't know what his ailment is, and then nose tackle Roy Lopez with the foot injury. Spoiler alert, Anzalone practiced in day 6. So I'm just telling you right now, Anzalone practiced. I think a lot of these guys did. A lot of these guys came back. So guys are coming back. So see how people worry and then come back. But we'll talk about that day 6. This is day 5. These guys were out. And then wide receiver Tim Patrick was off to the side with trainers getting some work in. So he's got some type of ailment going on. And he was just doing some trainer work. Hutch. We haven't had a lot of Hutch talk lately. Been kind of quiet since with the no pads and no helmets and all that stuff. It's been quiet with Hutch. I haven't had too many beat writers focusing on him, but all eyes were on Hutchinson when the pads came on, and he looked fantastic. He's looked great. There's people out there that said this kid's limping around. He's doing this. He doesn't look as explosive. I don't understand that. Hutch has always had a funny walk to him. Now, I'm not making fun of the kid, but he walks a little bit on his tippy toes. If you watch him during games and you watch these reels, he walks on his tippy toes. It's just a weird way he walks. I don't know what it is. Don't give a shit. Don't care how this kid walks or does anything. All I care about is what's he going to do to quarterbacks? How's he going to play the run? How's he going to make a big difference on this defense? And that's all I care about. He's not limping around. Okay, he looked phenomenal. Looking strong, quick burst. He beat Sewell on a really nice spin move. He called it too. There's a reel out there where they show Hutch. It must have been pre-one-on-one drills. He's doing this, doing that. He does a spin move, and he's talking into the camera, kind of into the side, and going, one of these is going to work. One of these is going to work. I'm going to beat somebody on this word. And guess who it was? It was all pro Penei Sewell. Destroyed him. Beat him really well. And then I guess he embarrassed Dan Skipper as well, man. So he's showing bend, showing speed, so showing power. He looks great out there. Coach Shepard, the defensive coordinator, and Campbell have said on record that he looks like the better player this year already. He already looks better than he was last year. And on pace, he was looking like a monster unleashed. So, we'll see when games start and stuff like that, but we're not going to see it till September because you're not going to see these guys playing in preseason games. You won't see Hutch in the Hall of Fame game. You won't see Hutch. The only time you'll see Hutch in live is in live scrimmages. I forget who we're playing this year in live scrimmage. Don't remember who we're playing. Don't remember who they got lined up. I can't even guess right now. I know we have a couple of them because Campbell likes that, and I think it's a really good way to go about things as well too. So you get to see your starters because you're not seeing your starters in preseason. So, anyways, defensive line looks strong all day. Apparently, Reeder, O'Connor, and Nate Lynn in particular. Keep an eye on Lynn, man. He's out there balling right now. He's doing it. I want to hear him doing it against the upper echelon offensive linemen that we have on the team. But he's doing it. He's just showing that he has a really nice pass rush ability. And note, Lions are still bringing in players for visits. They've already brought in linebacker Kazir White. They brought an outside linebacker edge, Matthew Judon. I think they kind of communicating with him. Don't know if they actually brought Judon in for a visit, but they're communicating. Now, listen, they need help on the defensive line. Whether anybody thinks they don't or not, they do. You can't trust Davenport, even though he's having a great camp. And then after Davenport, if he gets hurt, and there's and I'm not trying to speak it into his existence, but if he gets hurt, and it always seems like he is, because he's never had a full healthy season in his whole career, 7-8 years, whatever he's played in the league, he's never been healthy, never played a full season. So you expect it now. And you can't rely on the next man up mentality. I understand there's always a next man up mentality. He goes down, we're looking at 2024 all over again for the options. You're looking at Elquana Muhammad, who I like, and I love that they brought him back, but he's rotational. Josh Pascal, I don't trust whatsoever. And then you got guys like 6th-round rookie Ahmed Hassanein. You got those guys. Nate Lynn, who I like, all these guys that I like. But, it's going to be a rotation anyways, but they're bringing guys in. So there's a lot of fans out there that don't think we need help. I think we do. You got to make that rotation stronger because you can't trust guys like Davenport and Pascal. Pascal gets hurt too a lot. So they're bringing in help, guys. They're bringing in visits. Whether they sign someone or not, it's a whole other ball game, but it feels like someone's going to be getting signed. Zadarius Smith is still out there too. I would have bet the mortgage that he would have been here by now, but I guess maybe not. So we'll see what happens there. But Tesla's shining. The 3rd-round rookie that they drafted, he beat DB Maurice Norris more than once on one-on-one drills. Norris hit him, and then Tesla bowled him over. He beat him on coverage drills. J-Mo beat Arnold on a flyby. Arnold took him to the ground, though, on the rep number 2, ripping his helmet off. So good. The Alabama boys are jawing at each other. Running backs, more blocking. Up against safeties and the linebackers, Montgomery versus Campbell. Montgomery won his. Reynolds versus Ezekiel Turner. Reynolds. And then Gibbs versus Joseph. Gibbs held his own. Running back tiers. You guys know the running back tiers. Gibbs and Monty are the number 1 guys. The carries seem to be split right there. There's talk about Gibbs getting more looks this year, which is probably better for Monty's health. But they are 1A and 1B, in my opinion. That's everybody's opinion, I think. Craig Reynolds got that number 2 locked up right now. No Vike guy. Kai Robichaux and Jabari Small on number 3 duties as well. So, team 3, offensive number 3. So you guys know what's going on there. And then Mahogany stacking good to great days. He looks like a force out there, which is really solid. He's anchoring himself. He's got great feet, they say. And he adjusts really quick. You've talked to some of these beat writers. You listen to what some of these beat writers are saying, that he's got a very impressive feat, especially when he knows he gets beat. He makes adjustments really well. So love that. Mahogany was a great pick by them. A guy that probably should have been drafted a little bit higher, I thought, but he had some things going on last year in Boston College or 2 years ago in college that made his draft stock fall a little bit. Like apparently he's got a shorter leg than the other, like I've talked about before. I think he had a little bit of an injury season his last year at Boston College. I don't know if he missed every single game, but he had some time missed. So there's another good find by Brad Holmes, and he seems to have that left guard locked up. Now on the struggle bus was Graham Glasgow, taking center one snaps again 2 days in a row. Reader beat him multiple times, I guess, on drills, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on. And I'll explain why. But I guess he struggled a little bit on team drills, and then Manu left tackle, for the second team. Jamarco Jones, number 2 right tackle. Michael Neese, he was the center too. Kingsley Aguakan was the guard, and then him and Neese were kind of split in there too as well. And you guys we got Coyote Awisika, Sorzal all in the mix right there. So it's a number of players for that team 2 and team 3 offensive line. Some notes: Dominic Lovett, the rookie out of Georgia, beat Meek Robertson, shook him to get open with a nice catch. Allen, quarterback 2 today, which was yesterday. Hooker was the number 3. And then Goff and St. Brown stayed on the field after practice to get more throws in, which something they do all the time, which is good. Offense, still more offensive stuff. Offense was winning more reps, I guess, on day 5, which is good because the defense has been pretty much holding their own. Testing Goff, this was something that, just the little things right here. And it's not little, it's actually big, but it's a lot of things that fans don't really inquire about or care about. They were going through plays, running through plays. Goff would call the play out, and Morton would call out the defensive coverage, sitting to the side. This is versus nobody, by the way. This is just the O-line, or it could be just Morton and Goff. It could be just Morton and Goff, maybe a couple wide receivers running back, whatever, but this is what they were doing. So Morton would call out the defensive coverage. Goff would either kill the play or go into another play by audibling, or he'd just snap it outright and point out for each of his reads in succession based on Morton's call on the coverage that they were seeing. It's great work. It's also it's brain work. It's also very important to do. It's something that you don't hear about a lot. And it's not that we're the only team that does it. We're not the only team that does this. This is just mental reps. Your quarterback has a read. Your offensive coordinator's on the side. He's just kind of throwing out defensive calls. And he's pretty much asking you, what are you going to do first? What's your first read? So Goff is doing it in succession, and Goff had a very nice session doing that. So that's what you want. Goff has been doing this for a long time. Morton has been doing it for a long time. It's good to see that these two guys are working together, and they're trying to pick each other's brain of what they want from each other. So I love stuff like this. This is brain work. There's no real physical shit to this. This is not physical. This is strictly brain work between Goff and John Morton, the OC. And I'm sure Goff and Ben Johnson did the same stuff. I'm sure I reported it back in the last year, 2 years ago, whatever. But it's good to see this or hear about it. And then center work, like I said, Glasgow at center one. Rookie Tate Ratledge was at right guard. 11 on 11s, end of practice. Again, it was offense versus defense. First team Goff. I love these things. I love these where they break it down. Goff with the first down. He had a nice catch by J-Mo, then another run by Gibbs with a nice run. So 2 in a row back to back. But then Hutch, they got to a third down. Hutch on a third down sack. Offensive first team off the field. Second team, first down, throw to Tesla. It was made by Kyle Allen. Nice out route. Third down throw, by the way, to get that first down. Then throw to rookie Dominic Lovett. That was a short throw for a huge that turned into a big gain. So winner offense there. Third team running back Kai Robichaux had a couple really nice runs. Then wide receiver Jacoby Keeney. James had a nice catch for a huge gain. It was another offensive win. Laporta, reports are that he's looking better than ever. He's healthy. He's looking elusive, something that you haven't really heard too much about him being in the last few years. Elusiveness isn't really part of his game, but he's looking better out there, beating Branch on a one-on-one tackling drill. It's something that you don't hear too much because Branch is one of the better tacklers on his football team. Zach Cunningham, the linebacker that we brought in a few months ago or a month or two ago, whatever it was, continues to impress. Should be really good depth when it's all said and done, and he has starting experience. So, they brought him in. He's getting looks. He's a vet. He knows what he's doing. Really good depth. Who will get snaps. DJ Reader, impressing early as well, changing clogging up the middle, pushing the pocket, something that he's supposed to be doing, and he missed all of camp last year in 2024 with that quad injury, so he's raring to go. Then Ratledge at right guard again, learning real quick, man, that this isn't college. Lions blitzed Branch. Sewell had to adjust to him, so leaving kind of Ratledge one-on-one with Marcus Davenport. Davenport used power and angle to move Ratledge back into the quarterback, would be sack or would be just, messing up the play for the offense. And it's something that Ratledge is going to learn. He's not going to win every rep. And Davenport's no joke of a defensive lineman. He just can't stay healthy. So that's a good look on Davenport. Ratledge will succeed later on in life, hopefully, later on in the year. Then he tried to block Branch, I guess, on a pull play. That's what right guards do, left guards as well. It's tough to pull on a player like Brian Branch. He's elusive, he's quick, he can fool you. The second round pick out of Georgia has a full play going on right now. He's learning, so he's got some ups and downs at guard. He's just starting to play it again, and Campbell has said they really want him to get both things going on. Center one, right guard one. They want to see him, and they want to see him succeed at one. And they're just trying to get a unity. They're trying to get a continuity. They're trying to get full starting 5 guys that they think are going to be comfortable with. And Glasgow hasn't been the greatest at center. He's older. I think he's declining a little bit. But, keep an eye on this, guys. Just keep an eye on it, because I know I'm going to keep an eye on it. Obviously, this is going to be a camp battle. This is going to be a camp battle. I can see, not predicting anything. I did predict way before that Glasgow was going to win that center one job. But now it's like I could see Glasgow starting at center this year and keeping Ratledge at guard. I could see it. If Glasgow just looks like he's serviceable, expect it. I'm still going to stick with it. I don't care who wins it. I really don't. I just let the best man win. Get the best starting 5 you can out there. But I won't be surprised if Ratledge plays right guard this year, because that's what he is. That's what he truly is. So, this is a little bit of a competition. I know people don't want to hear it, but it is. And then that second unit O-line, I already talked about it, but it was left tackle, Gianni Manu. I wrote it down again. I think they were a little bit more detailed with this one. Left guard, Natane Mutai. Kingsley Aguakin was getting some second, third. Center, Michael Neese was that second guy, and then Tristan Colon was actually getting third team reps at center. Right guard, Coyote Awisika, and Colby Sorsville was getting, third team reps. Right tackle, Jamarco Jones, and then the third team guy was Mason Miller. So, like I said, a jumble of O-linemen there. O-line versus D-line. I talked about this earlier too. Hutch beating Sewell, an embarrassing skipper, apparently left him in the dust. Mahogany locked up defensive tackle Chris Smith, anchored well. Glasgow did, see, this is where I like following 6 or 7, 8, whatever, how many guys I follow on Twitter and Facebook. Like I said, when I named those guys at the beginning, Macaron, Tim Twentyman, Justin Rogers, Schlitt, Reisman, all those guys that I mentioned, some have different opinions. So this one came, I think, from Eric Schlitt, I'm pretty sure. Said Glasgow did beat Reader on a rep. Then had a nice draw on the second time around and beat him. So, you're hearing from one rep or one beat writer that Glasgow got embarrassed. He got beat. He's looking rough out there. And then the next one, Glasgow looked good. He beat Reader on one. He had a nice draw on the second one. But Glasgow apparently has struggled a little bit though, and Reader did have a great day. So, take it for what it's worth. But these guys have different outlooks. Ratledge had a draw versus Pat O'Connor, and he did beat Keith Cooper pretty easily on one rep as well. And then Giovanni Benu beat Isaac Ukwu. He had a nice anchor on him. Ukwu was a smaller, faster guy. Everybody's smaller than Manu, but Ukwu was a nice, quick pass rusher, and Manu handled him pretty well, which is good for the mammoth left tackle there. who needs a lot of work still. Offensive skill players versus the back seven DBs, so that's all the safeties in the corners and all that stuff. I talked about the J-Mill and the Arnold matches already. Both went one-on-one. Montgomery had a stick move, had a nice slick move on Campbell. Second rep, Campbell with the tackle for loss. Campbell got the best of him on that date. He won a couple more reps later on. Rookie Dominic Lovett, the wide receiver out of Georgia, tried to hurdle Amik Robertson apparently, and it was a mistake. Robertson caught him in the midair, just kind of threw him to the ground, pretty violent. Nobody hurt, nothing really happened. Lovett seems like a very lovable guy. If you ever listen to this kid talk, he reminds me a lot of Jamal Williams. Yeah, he's just kind of goofy and just kind of eccentric. Things don't seem to bother him, but apparently nothing happened. Robertson is a fiery dude who looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder all the time. Threw him to the side and said, the bygones be bygones. Play went on. And then tight ends versus running backs versus safeties. Tight ends, running backs versus safety linebackers. Kind of more of a pass rush and protection. I talked about this a little early too, but I missed a couple things. Trevor Nowaski, the backup linebacker, had a nice swing move on Brock Wright. Laporta did beat Nowaski though on a nice block, anchored him up. Linebacker Grant Stewart, bull rush. Tight end Kenny Yeboah into the quarterback, would be sack or would be disruptive play. Special teams, Rock Ya-Sin beat the double team. He's looking good out there for special teams. Norris maintained his angle on Tesla and ran him out of the play on one play. Tesla was pretty fast. Norris just kind of like ran with him a little bit, and didn't try to attack him right away. Wanted Tesla to make the first move, and Norris came on top, kind of ran him out of the play, which is a good move on Norris. Lovett showing some quick feet, forced Robertson to react, tried to lunge at him. Lovett ran right by him and got to the open lane to the ball carrier. Jackson Meeks, another UDFA wide receiver, beating blocks as well. He was looking, I guess, unstoppable on special teams on day 5. Possible gunner as well. I mean, there's a lot of guys looking for that gunner spot. And then vet wide receiver Malik Taylor has been in the league for a bit. Used his strength to get past Stanley Thomas Oliver. So he apparently picked him up and kind of threw him to the side and he got to the ball carrier. So Malik Taylor's showing some strength there. He's in a rough go though too, man. He's in an uphill battle. And then more notes. We're almost at the end here, guys. Running back 3, Reynolds. My cat is literally meowing. It's ridiculous. Running back 3, Reynolds. Grip on that roll is increasing. Big gains on a toss sweep and screen pass. Remember though, no Vaikai, like I said. To compete with him, it was supposed to be a competition this year. Vaikai has been hurt. How long he'll be hurt, I don't know. Hamstring injury could linger for a while. So we'll know more, but it looks like Reynolds is locking up that role right there. Then tight end, kind of H-back, Zach Horton, showing that he has fullback range and laying some good blocks on some running plays, which is good. He's in another uphill battle. Egwakin, Kingsley Egwakin, the center from Florida, played for the Florida Gators 2 years ago. We picked him up last year, a UDFA contract. Beat on a spin move by Miles Adams, but then pancaked the blitzing Anthony Pittman. So, keep an eye on Egwakin. Campbell has pointed him out too, that he's noticed that he's really turned it on since year 1, and he's noticed a change in him physically, mentally, and just his style of play. So that's good. That's good, man. That when your head coach is noticing you, it's a big deal. Like I said, there was no Williams out there. Then Chris Smith and Pat O'Connor kind of stepped into the starting 3T role, the 3 technique role, and then Smith also went from 3T to 4I as well. The one that usually Levi Ruzarike kind of played there, but he's done for the year. UDFA rookie Keith Cooper is taking reps there too as well. So seems like there's a 3-man race between Smith, O'Connor, and Keith Cooper. To be honest, I think O'Connor will win it. As of right now, if it's just between those 3, I can't see O'Connor losing to any of these guys. I like Chris Smith. He's been on the team. Like I said, it feels like he's been on this team for 15 years. He's only been here for, 3, 4, maybe 5. I don't even really know, but it feels like he's been here forever, Chris Smith. But he's a practice squad guy. He's a guy that makes the team all the time. He's been called up a couple times, but, he's a ball player. He's a good football player. He's a backup. So it's a three-man race. I think O'Connor's in the lead there. And then Terry Arnold and J-Mo, like I said earlier, they've been jawing at each other all camp. The Alabama boys just going at it, all in good nature. They're friends. So, this is good right here. It's good, clean fun. And then wide receiver Ronnie Bell, ex-Michigan Wolverine guy. Got to get those Wolverines in there. He's in an uphill climb. He could be a camp cut. He had his best day at camp on day 5, though. Quick feet and ability to change speeds were on notice, so that's good for him. And then we're going to end it with safety Lawrence Strickland. Hasn't really done much this year. They say they're kind of like, he's in, Strickland's in that S4 competition. He's lethal when it comes to blitzing. Anything else, he hasn't really popped or shown anything, but he really pops when he gets the blitz. He's unstoppable. So, we're going to end up with that, and that's really all that there is. So thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. Day 5 in the books. That was yesterday. Sorry for the delay. I'll get back to that day 6 as soon as I can. Have that out by tonight. But I appreciate you guys coming in, listening to me rant and rave about our Lions, man. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Ding, ding. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Day 5 done. It's over. Day 6 is over. I'll get to that as soon as I can. Thanks, guys. Grit. Detroit versus everybody. Hunting season, baby. Let's go. Boom.